I knew the room went silent the moment she said it. My niece, all of 11, her voice sharp enough to slice through the clatter of silverware. "We don't sit with your kind." She said it like she'd rehearsed it, like someone had fed her the line. And the worst part? They all laughed. My brother smirked. My sister-in-law hid her grin behind a champagne flute. Even my mother pretended not to hear it. Her eyes dropped to her plate, as if mashed potatoes offered shelter from shame. I didn't react. I just adjusted the napkin on my lap and let the sting fade into something colder, cleaner. Because what they didn't know was simple. Beautiful, really. I owned every property they lived in. And tonight? Tonight was the beginning. My family wasn't always like this. There was a time when they adored me, when I was the quiet overachiever they bragged about to anyone who'd listen. The first to graduate, the first to build anything of worth. The one who, despite being the youngest, paid off our parents' medical bills. Back then, they called me the reliable one, until I became successful enough to intimidate them. Money changes people, not the one earning it, the ones watching. The shift was slow. First, fewer invitations, then whispered conversations when I entered the room, then policy-level gossip. She thinks she's better than us. She's different. She doesn't belong with family. I brushed it off, until I couldn't. The real betrayal came disguised as a family meeting. They sat me down in my mother's living room, everyone except my mother, who claimed a migraine, and told me I shouldn't come to gatherings anymore because my presence made others uncomfortable. My presence, not my actions, not my behavior, my existence. I held my breath so tightly my ribs hurt, but I didn't fight back. Not yet. Because betrayal is fuel, and I burn slow. Over the next 2 years, I watched, listened, paid attention. My brother overspent and couldn't keep up with mortgage payments. My sister-in-law hid credit card debt from him. My cousin was months behind on rent. My mother's house, my childhood home, was at risk of foreclosure. They were drowning, and I had the legal power to choose who got a lifeboat and who didn't. See, what they never asked, never cared enough to wonder, was what my company actually did. Real estate acquisitions, property rescue, landlord and investor advisory. Simple terms, I bought properties that people mismanaged, including theirs. When each of them signed new leases, they didn't bother to read the ownership line. My name, my signature, my rules. But I was patient. Revenge doesn't taste good rushed. Tonight's dinner was the moment I'd been waiting for. After the laughter died down and their plates were half finished, I pulled out a small folder and placed it gently on the table. "You all seem comfortable," I said. My voice was calm, controlled, almost conversational. "But I think there's something you should know before dessert." My brother scoffed. What now? Another lecture on success? I slid the first document toward him. His jaw clenched as he read the header. Property Ownership Transfer Notice. That's our house." I nodded. "Yes. You're 3 months behind. I finalized the acquisition last week." My sister-in-law's fork clattered. "You can't! This must be a mistake!" "It isn't." I slid the next paper to my cousin, then another to my aunt, then another. One by one, their faces drained of color. You own all of these?" my brother whispered. "All of them." I looked at my niece, the one who had sneered at me minutes earlier. "Including the roof you sleep under." The room was so still it was suffocating. My mother watched quietly, as if she had known this reckoning was inevitable. My brother swallowed hard. "What do you want?" "Respect," I said simply. "You don't have to love me. You don't even have to like me. But you will never speak to me the way you did tonight. Not you, not your children, not anyone." He opened his mouth to argue, then closed it again. Silence is an underrated apology. I stood, buttoned my coat, left the folder on the table like a gravestone. As I reached the door, my niece called out, her voice trembling. Are you kicking us out?" I looked over my shoulder. No, not tonight. Their relief was immediate. Pathetic. "But understand this," I continued. "You don't get to define what kind I am. You only get to live in what I own." And then I walked out. The cold air outside felt like absolution. Not triumph, not revenge, just release. They built a world where I didn't belong, so I built one around them. A stronger one, a higher one they'd have to look up to see me in. And for the first time in years, that felt beautiful.